Hey, what's going on, CoinOp TV subscribers? In anticipation for the upcoming Mad Max movie Furiosa, I thought, you know what? Let me jump in and do a ranking of all the Mad Max movies. I'm a big fan of this franchise since I was a kid, and I still love the movies today. I've been rewatching all the Mad Max movies on this 4K Blu-ray collection here, the Mad Max Anthology. It's a pretty great collection, although it's a little bare bones on the additions, the special features, and bonus content. But the movies are all great. So if you don't have this, pick that up. Okay, so let's get to the ranking. This should be a pretty short video because I'm not going to really review each movie, just kind of like have my bullet points on the screen here. So starting off, we're going to go number 4. My least favorite is Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. No surprises here, from 1985. The synopsis on IMDb, it says, after being exiled from the most advanced town in post-apocalyptic Australia, a drifter travels with a group of abandoned children to rebel against the town's queen. This, of course, is starring Mel Gibson, Tina Turner, Bruce Spence is also in it, and more. This is the only one that's PG-13, and that's kind of the problem with the movie, is it sort of gets a little lighthearted. It's kind of kiddie in a way. It doesn't really have the punch, the impact that the other Mad Max movies have. I wrote my notes here. The low point of the Mad Max series, George Miller was on as a co-director, apparently emotionally not as connected with this film. The Bartertown stuff in the opening of the movie is somewhat interesting, but things drop off dramatically once the kids are introduced in the second half of the film. Oddly, this has somewhat of a light-hearted tone, and it's such a shift from the previous films that are out there. There is like an action set piece with the railway, the train at the end that's kind of interesting, but just doesn't really have the same punch and impact as the Road Warrior movie. And, you know, if you've seen Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, I think it's like a one and done. I don't think it has a lot of repeat viewing, and it's kind of the low point of the series. So let's get on to number 3. We're going to go with the original film, Mad Max from 1979. From IMDb synopsis, it says, in a self-destructing world, a vengeful Australian policeman sets out to stop a violent motorcycle gang. There wasn't a lot of budget here. There wasn't a lot of permits in this movie. There wasn't a lot, but George Miller had a story that he wanted to tell and characters that he wanted to introduce us to and world building, and he accomplished a lot of that. This is starring Mel Gibson, Joanne Samuel, Hugh Keys-Byrne, Steve Bisley, and more. My notes here, I wrote, guilty pleasure movie, has some really great sequences, but is bogged down in the middle section with too much of the romance family life. If you can get past the cheesy acting, wardrobe, limited budget, it makes for an entertaining adventure. This is most notable, the turning from Mel Gibson into a star. And the movie has an eclectic cast of characters, especially the sidekicks in the biker gang. I think that's one of the standouts, is each of the biker gang, the leaders and his minions, all are very memorable and stand out. They all have these cool names and fashion and trends that they do that really sort of stand out. So Mad Max is number 2. Okay, here's where it became tough to decide on what I wanted for number 2 and 1. And for number 2, I'm going to go with Mad Max Fury Road from 2015. The IMDb synopsis of this is, in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, a woman rebels against a tyrannic ruler in search for her homeland with the aid of a group of female prisoners, a psychotic worshiper, and a drifter named Max. This one stars Charlize Theron, Tom Hardy, Nicholas Hoult, Hugh Keys-Byrne, and more. I saw this in the theater when it came out. I've seen it numerous times on 4K and Blu-ray. It's just a fantastic movie. It's very fun. It's action-packed. It's like balls to the wall craziness. It's clever. It's intense. I wrote in my notes here, super fun madness movie that catches you off guard with surprises, great characters all around, and action set pieces. It's hard to say all these plural words all in one sentence here. Excellent use of practical special effects mixed with CGI. It's got style, it's got substance, it's got everything I want in a movie. The reason why I didn't put it as number 1, though, is because the first movie, the number 1 pick, The Road Warrior, has limitations, and it excels with the limitations. So of course, number one, Mad Max, The Road Warrior, 1981, synopsis from IMDb: in a post-apocalyptic Australian wasteland, a cynical drifter agrees to help a small, gasoline-rich community escape a horde of bandits. This one stars Mel Gibson, Bruce Spence, Vernon Wells, and more. From my notes, I wrote top-notch cinematic achievement film. Director George Miller takes everything up a few levels here with a better story, better stunts, compelling characters. The film is like a roller coaster ride with little time to catch your breath. The introduction to all the different characters in the first act is clever, and everything about the world and the drama is laid out in front of you. It's very visual. You can almost watch this movie mute or with just the sound off or just music, no dialogue at all, and I feel like it's a complete story visually. Mel Gibson shines. He carries the movie yet again with a gentle yet stern vibe about him. Doesn't really speak a whole lot. He's just kind of has a presence on film, and so that's why I went with Road Warrior as my top pick, because I felt like George Miller didn't have the resources of Fury Road, the budget and the resources, and he was able to kind of really tell a story, and a visual story and cinematic story and action story with less resources that actually has a little bit more of an emotional pull to me. I think the jokes and the funny things are a little funnier. I think the drama of when people get killed or maimed or run over has a little bit more of a punch to it. This list could change, like 1 and 2 could change for me in a couple years. I could be like, you know what, I like Fury Road a little more because I woke up on this side of the bed. But right now, as I'm recording this video, I'm gonna go with Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior is my number 1 pick. So I don't know if that's a hot take or not, or general consensus. You'll have to let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll remake this video again in a couple years after Furiosa is out and drop that in there and check that out. So you'll have to let me know what your thoughts are on these movies. That's it for this video. Thanks a bunch for watching. For CoinOp TV, we'll see you next time.